In the top stories, National Bank gives update on investigations into IT security incident. No COVID-19 vaccines for expectant mothers in Trinidad and Tobago, and millions in Texas lose power in winter storm. Hello and welcome to the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Today is Tuesday, the 16th of February 2021. I'm Jason Davis. Nationally, as the St. Kitts Nevis Anguilla National Bank continues to experience an interruption in service caused by an IT security incident, a statement was released on Tuesday updating customers on the situation. The bank informed that, quote, as of today, Tuesday, February 16, 2021, the following services are restored: ATMs, point of sale, telephone, debit card services, and emails, end quote. The statement said, quote, it is important to note that credit card services were not affected by the incident and continue to remain fully operational, end quote. The bank also informed that it is executing a plan alongside its partners to ensure that services are back online as soon as possible and customers are able to access all services. On Friday, National Bank responded to a rumor of a hacking at the bank after services became unavailable to customers on Thursday. 3 federal cabinet ministers will join Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris on this week's edition of the Leadership Matters virtual forum series. Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Sean Richards, Minister of Health the Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet, and Minister of Education the Honorable John L. Powell will sit alongside Prime Minister Harris on Tuesday night's panel, where they will give detailed accounts of their stewardship as ministers of government and parliamentary representatives. Tuesday, February 16, also marks the 6th anniversary of the Team Unity Coalition's victory in the 2015 general elections. The coalition comprises the People's Labour Party, the People's Action Movement, and the Nevis-based Concerned Citizens Movement. The Team Unity administration was returned to power in the June 2020 elections. The 4 government ministers are expected to reflect on their work to advance the lives and livelihoods of citizens and residents over the years, while also taking a look at the upcoming plans of their respective ministries. Leadership Matters begins at 8 p.m. and simulcasts on ZIZ Radio and other radio stations. It's also carried on ZIZ TV and streamed live on social media platforms, including the Facebook and YouTube pages of the St. Kitts and Nevis Information Service. In other news, local landscaping plant nursery and garden center KM Services Incorporated celebrated its 25th anniversary with a ceremony on the grounds of the establishment on Friday. The ceremony was spent reflecting on the 25 years journey of the staff and CEO of the company, Kareem Morton, which consisted of his dedication, failures, frustrations, and successes. There were also a series of remarks from persons who played a part in the journey of the company, including the first person to do business with Mr. Maynard outside of St. Kitts and Nevis, and his advisor, Minister of Environment, the Honorable Eric Evelyn. Minister Evelyn said that as an entrepreneur, Mr. Maynard is a role model for the youth of the Federation.
I think Karim is a fantastic role model for many of our young people, because a lot of the times we believe that we cannot do things on our own and we must be working for someone else. Well, Karim has said, no, I can do things on my own. I can be my own successful businessman, because it's always well and good to be a businessman or a businesswoman, but you must have what it takes to be successful.
Minister of Agriculture, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, also provided remarks and mentioned the importance of supporting local entrepreneurs.
It is always a good thing to come and support your local people, local businessmen, local entrepreneurs, and everyone who do an honest day's work in order to receive an honest day's pay, and also to ensure that this country that we so love continues on an upward trajectory in terms of development.
During his remarks, company CEO Mr. Kareem Maynard reflected on his journey, which led to him establishing KM Services, including the expansion into the plant nursery service.
So I got workers. I realized that they mow the plants down many times and say it's an accident. they will trim the plants and say it's an accident. We're going to go with it, it's an accident. So I start seeking plants around the neighborhood and friends and say, do you have some plants? People had a little backyard with 2 flowers and 3 flowers. So I would go and purchase plants to replace the client plants. Soon we realized later that the price keep going up every time I go back. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to start a nursery in my mother's backyard under her coconut tree. So I started that nursery. And then I realized that's when KM Services Nursery was born.
After the remarks, the audience was treated to a performance from a trumpeter and a dancer. Other government officials present at the ceremony included Opposition Leader, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas, and Minister of Health, the Honourable Akila Byron Nisbet. We now move to news on the regional scene. In Trinidad and Tobago, there are a few at-risk groups in the population that will not be able to receive the COVID-19 vaccines. These groupings include children under 18, persons with allergies, and pregnant and breastfeeding mothers. Terry Ann Brown-Campbell of TTT News has more in this report.
The much-anticipated COVID-19 vaccinations will not be available to pregnant nor breastfeeding women, minors under 18 or persons with allergies. Director in the Ministry's Directorate of Women's Health, Dr. Adish Surjusing, reiterated the information at Monday's COVID-19 update as he highlighted the risks to persons who are pregnant and their newborns.
Pregnant women and breastfeeding women were not included in the clinical trials on the present batch of COVID vaccines. We simply do not have enough data to make a clear recommendation on this vulnerable population.
Dr. Surjusing noted that in this country, there had been no deaths among the 39 pregnant women who contracted the virus to date.
The overall risk of COVID-19 on our pregnant women are slightly higher than that of the average healthy population. Data is now evolving, suggests that preterm labor is slightly increased in women with COVID-19 if they are in the last few months of pregnancy. There's still minimal or little risk of transmission of COVID-19 to the unborn baby or to the baby after delivery.
Dr. Surjusing added that there does not appear to be any risk of abnormalities in babies born to mothers who contracted the virus. Terry Ann Brown-Campbell, TTT News.
The head of the WHO's Vaccine Advisory Group is encouraging Antiguans and Barbudans to take the COVID-19 vaccine when it becomes available. The country is now preparing to administer doses of the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine to frontline workers and other vulnerable groups. ABS's Jamie J. Rocher reports.
Dr. Alejandro Cravioto is chairman of WHO's Strategic Advisory Group of Experts on Immunization, or SAGE. SAGE advises WHO on global vaccine policies and strategies. Dr. Cravioto is encouraging everyone to take the COVID-19 vaccine to protect from hospitalization and death. He was a guest on Prime Minister Gaston Brown's weekly radio program on Point FM Saturday. Antigua and Barbuda has 5,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, with another 40,000 expected to arrive soon.
It gives a protection of close to 70 to 80%, which is an incredibly good efficacy for any vaccine that we have decided to use as part of the WHO group of products.
Dr. Cravioto explains the vaccine provides about 50% protection 7 days after the first dose and up to 80% after the second. He says the AstraZeneca vaccine also has a good safety record.
The vaccine is safe, as I said first, and it has been shown. It is less reactogenic than the Pfizer and Moderna. It causes less problems when you have it because it is made in a different way.
But he says the AstraZeneca vaccine is less effective against the South African variant of the virus. The advisory group chairman says there is no conclusive evidence that any of the COVID-19 vaccines on the market prevents people from getting the virus or stops them from passing it on. He says experts are also unclear how long the immunity lasts.
The only evidence we have seen so far about the possibility of stopping transmission is with the AstraZeneca vaccine, which is very hopeful.
Interim recommendations put the age range for the jab at 18 years and older. Dr. Cravioto says younger people with high risk for severe illness from COVID-19 may take the vaccine as well. Jamie J. Roche, ABS News.
Internationally, an enormous winter storm has been pummeling at least 20 states in the U.S., bringing rare snowfalls to its southern regions. In Texas, record low temperatures, way below freezing, brought the electricity grid to its knees and caused oil refineries to shut. More than 2 million customers there lost power, many caught up in intentional outages designed to ease the strain on the system. Al Jazeera's Gabriel Elizondo reports.
For much of the southern United States, it was a once-in-a-generation winter storm. Heavy snowfall and icy roads conjured up disastrous driving conditions. Across at least 20 states, several of them declaring states of emergency. In Texas, record low temperatures way below freezing brought the electricity grid to its knees. At one point, more than 2 million customers there lost power, many caught up in intentional outages designed to ease the strain on the system.
We have experienced probably 5 or 6 rolling blackouts at about 45 minutes each. I know that there are some neighborhoods around here that have been without power since about 4 a.m.
Even southern Texas, more accustomed to hurricanes, got a rare sight of snow. This was the scene in Bel Air, a suburb of Houston. And in San Antonio, home to the Alamo, a famous historical site, here's what it looked like there.
You know, when we got snow in front of the Alamo, don't live too far, but man, you never think you see the day until you got snow coming down like this.
According to the National Weather Service, at least 150 million Americans are in the storm's path, an unusually wide band of frigid air creeping slowly across the country. Other states bearing the brunt of it have been Oklahoma, where it's caused near whiteout conditions on the roads, and North Carolina, where freezing rain felled trees along highways. Further north, in Chicago, they're more used to this kind of weather at this time of the year. But even here, they're bracing for more than 30 centimeters of snow by the time the storm passes through.
The New York City region has already seen its highest snowfall totals in years. But the storm that's sweeping through the rest of the country is now barreling north and about to hit here, leaving tens of millions of other Americans in the northeast of the country bracing for the next one that also could include sleet and hail. Gabriel Elizondo, Al Jazeera, Weehawken, New Jersey.
And now for the weather. Present weather is cloudy with showers in the vicinity. Winds are from the east with speeds ranging from 16 to 24 miles per hour, gusting as high as 38 miles per hour. The temperature is 28 degrees Celsius or 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Seas are moderate with waves of 6 to 9 feet. The small craft advisory for mariners remains in effect, particularly for the northern and eastern sides of the island. The weather forecast for St. Kitts and Nevis predicts partly sunny skies with a moderate chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a moderate chance of showers, mainly after midnight. Sunset today will be at 6:13 p.m., sunrise tomorrow at 6:36 a.m. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday Newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Jason Davis.